Hey guys, it's 007 here, and today we're looking at the Mirage 2000 on the first day of the dev server. I really think there's not much that needs to be said about this plane. I would like to just briefly talk about well, first of all, let's talk about what's not on the plane right now. So, skin doesn't currently work for the plane. That's currently a work in progress, understandable. The radar is just copy pasted from the Mirage 3 and the Mirage 3 series, I should say, because the 3C and the 3E are identical with the radar. So there's nothing really in that respect. Obviously, all the missiles are here. Nothing radical missile-wise except the Matra 530 Delta, which is being added. So that should be pretty good. I'm pretty sure it's just that one because the 530F is the one that's on the Mirage F1. Correct. Yep. So that's what we're looking at here. Honestly, this plane really is going to solve a lot of the problems for France. There are some other issues that come with this plane, and it's tough to say whether or not they will translate to the live server. I'll briefly talk about that. But with this plane, you have the thrust to compete with every aircraft pretty much in the game. I think the only aircraft you have to worry about in a rate fight, which is you nose to tail chasing someone or being chased, is the J7E. And let's be honest, the J7E is the worst nightmare you're going to have to worry about if you get stuck into a rate fight. So going forward, I'll just talk about some of the issues, but we'll go ahead and test fly it. There's nothing radical maneuver-wise that you can really do with this thing. It's a negative G, flick you can kind of do, but you're going to pass out and you're going to be spending a lot of time recovering. It's just not sustainable, honestly. You're just better off letting this thing's performance beat the opponent. It's just one of those planes. You don't need to do anything funny. Like I said, radar. Copy pasted from the Mirage 3 series, so no ACM on it currently. That's just the way it is right now. Beyond that, like I said, it's really, really brief stuff. The biggest issue I probably have with this plane is the countermeasures. Being that there's only 24 countermeasures you'll get to use, it better have the ability to, share pods, if you know what I mean, and the cartridges. If not, that might be a little tricky. I'm pretty sure that's one of the big flaws with the Kafir. And honestly, when we compared this aircraft, we had a performance-ready Mirage perform against a performance-ready F-14. The Mirage 2000 performed really, really well when it came to fighting it. I mean, in the initial bit, the Mirage 2000 had it, and as the fight goes on, yeah, the F-14 will get an advantage, but the sustainability of the fight is one of the big things that France really lacks right now against something like an F-14. Now, J7E was also tested against, like I said, and it really handled that pretty well. But going on beyond that, I just really think that this plane is going to be a real home run. It's really, really good. Good platform, good AOA. The aircraft just, you will do rate fights where you're climbing in a circle, and in the climb you'll be just outperforming opponents with just that amount of thrust that you have. It's really, really impressive stuff. And you should have the opportunity to one circle back on people. There's a lot going for this plane. Beyond that, I don't think there's really much to say. I think that this plane will probably be, if not the best, it will definitely compete with the best. It is that good of a plane. I know people were very critical of the Mirage F1s. I kind of disagree with them on that. I really like the Mirage F1s. I'm realistic, though. I will tell you a Mirage F1 will lose pretty quickly to an F-14 if the fight gets to the sustainable phase, because it just does not have the AOA to fight the F-14. So I really think that this plane right here, France is going to get a real gem with the patch coming. And really, we haven't even seen the upgraded radar yet, and I'm sure that's going to be a lot better. I think it's really going to be good. I know I've been saying it a lot, but this plane is definitely worth your time and research. Like I said, not much to say beyond that. I don't think there's really much to say for the rest of the patch. The Sukhoi 25 I'm willing to look at, but frankly, there's nothing radical going to be there. I will briefly just say that the Sukhoi 25 is probably going to have a unique situation that if it's going to be at 9.3, it's going to be a little bit faster than the A10, so it's going to have a little bit better opportunity getting to the fight. 2 missiles kind of sucks, but at the same time, you're going to have 2 R60Ms and R60MKs that will be at the BR where people don't even have flares. So it's going to be a little... I think it's a little irresponsible of the positioning. The BRs need to decompress for that thing to make sense. At worst, in my opinion, it should be at 9.7, because if that thing goes to 9.3, everyone's not going to be safe. If an 8.3 gets up-tiered, he better have climbed and got to a safe position and then made a steep attack run on the Sukhoi 25. I think ground forces, it's going to see a lot of success because it's going to be dodging a lot of the SAMs in BR, at least in the sense of being tiered or up-tiered. Yeah, it will be. I mean, in down-tier, it'll escape it. It won't have to worry about fighting the radar-guided SAMs, but the Stingers might give it a run for its money. It's hard to say. We'll have to see how it performs. But I really do think that the Sukhoi 25, if it goes to the game at 9.3, we're going to be in trouble. And I think it's going to be more trouble than the A10s could ever produce, just because of that BR compression where it is and where it's going into the game. It's just not going to work. It needs to go up in BR, in my opinion, to at least 9.7 when it goes into the game. I'm glad that the L20 SH, though, has something to go after it. That's something that needs to happen. Beyond that, MiG-23 for Germany, I'm not going to really say that's going to be worth your time. And obviously, I haven't really had the opportunity to see the fire prevention system. I don't think we're going to get a clean observation of that, unless we can get someone to run up with 7.7s and shoot the engine out and catch it on fire. And frankly, I'm just not going to willing to be cared for that. I definitely think the FPE whole debate thing doesn't really apply to planes here. I do think it's good that they're getting it, but I don't think that it should be something that's stock in all that respect. You shouldn't be worrying about getting hit in a plane. You should be focusing on avoiding getting hit in the first place. Beyond that, though, not much to say. Obviously, Italy got something plane-wise. They got another G91Y. And I think beyond that, that's pretty much it. So I'm not going to care about the French interceptor. That should be a pretty good meme. It really does depend on what goes forward. But honestly, this patch is half done, if I'm honest. You're going to see more aircraft added. I think there's a lot in the files that has been eyed at. New Harrier. We might see the A6 come to the game. I don't think that they're going to try and do something like that, though. But I would be surprised. I really, in all actuality, I'm sure what's going to happen is they're going to do something little for this patch. And then when the 10th anniversary comes around, they're going to really dump us down with some pretty insane stuff. If not just April Fool's stuff, but they will definitely do I think they'll definitely do some pretty insane stuff for the 10th anniversary, because that's something you can't overlook as a company like this. So that's all I have to say about the patch. Nothing else to add on beyond that. If you guys got questions, definitely feel free to ask. But beyond that, I'm going to let you go. All right. See you guys later.